I'm really gonna miss Devil May Cry. A few, I guess, days ago, maybe a week ago now, we found out that the director of the Devil May Cry series and the Dragon's Dogma series, which I'll get to later, has actually left Capcom, and that's a huge loss because Devil May Cry is such an amazing game, such an amazing series. I mean, I got into it really late, and I understood it even later, but I get it. I get the series, for the most part. Honestly, it's been one of the harder series to get into, but it's so good, so worth it. Um, Basically, well, I'm not going to explain the whole thing. Just a little bit of my history with it. I got into it with the reboot, actually. The one that veteran Devil May Cry players actually hated. But it's a good game. I loved it. Uh, it was way back in like 2013, maybe 14. Wait, is there another one? There is. Okay, so I got into it uh, mid 2010s, basically. Then I tried Devil May Cry 4, which was a main series game. Loved the character Nero, still do to this day. More than Dante, honestly. Um, and that's why I'm doing a Nero mission right now. Anyway, Devil May Cry. Uh, oh man, I grew up Christian, so early on I was just never gonna touch it because it had the word devil in it, and there were certain themes that I just wasn't going to touch. We can get into that another time, but man, it's hard to really talk about this series because I've played 3 games out of the 6, I guess. Oh, you see that? Someone came into the game. In Devil May Cry 5, there's this feature where random players can drop into sessions where other characters would be around. That's pretty cool. Anyway, got into Devil May Cry 4. Didn't understand the game, but I brute forced my way through with healing items. Then years later, I think I got Devil May Cry 5 when... Nice! When it came out on release day. But... Hang on. Yes! Haha! Yes! Okay, so you might be getting a taste of why I like this series. I'm by no means good at it, but I really love it. I love what the combat feels like. I love the personalities of the characters, mostly Nero. Just look at these animations. So aggressive. He's just that's another thing. The personalities of the characters, ow, really show in their attack animations. And it's like Nero's the aggressive one, the angry one. Dante's the playful one. Uh, V, the new character for this game, he's really laid back. He's calm. He sits back while his familiars attack for you. And Virgil, who was added later on, like a year later, I think, is Dante's twin brother, and he's like the polar opposite of Dante. That is, in the sense that his combat is less about being playful and free and more about well, I'm not sure how to put it aside from Dante's lighthearted and Virgil takes everything extremely seriously. Both of them are pretty effortless in their attacks, but Virgil is concentrated and focused. Dante is freeform and just willy-nilly with things. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. I just know I like this game, and I wanted to talk about it because the director's leaving. And I don't know, man. I wanted a Devil May Cry 6. It's been 5 years now. You know, most series don't wait 5 years between games, Sonic the Hedgehog. And so, especially a Capcom game, I don't understand. I hope the director's off to bigger and better things, honestly. Because the games he made, or directed, are just that good. I might make a Dragon's Dogma 2 video, maybe, but they would need to update it with the hard mode because it's kind of unbalanced. The gameplay is fantastic, the progression's fantastic, but you get overpowered really easily, so it undermines pretty much everything. But this is about Devil May Cry. Man, I'm probably not going to talk much about the plot of this game because, honestly, I barely understand it. I mostly came for the cool attacks and stuff. And the animations and the music. Oh my gosh, the music. The the music is like nothing I've ever heard in video games. Especially Nero's theme. It's Nero's theme is Devil Trigger, and I'm sure you've heard it by now. Not in my videos, but somewhere across the internet, you've heard it. Yes! Aw, man, that could have been so cool. So, yeah, a lot of this combat is about precise timing. Oh, people call this a hack and slash game. I don't really agree with that. Like, you can kind of get away with that on lower difficulties, but on higher difficulties, you're gonna have to know the properties of your attacks. Like, most melee attacks can deflect other attacks from enemies, but oh, and there's also this armor system. It's a lot to get into. Okay, so you see when that enemy is glowing, the guys with the two machetes, they don't stagger when they're glowing. That's part of the armor system. And honestly, a responsible player would keep them from glowing, because you see it happens every time they're knocked down. And if I keep them from getting knocked down, then everything's fine. I can just beat them up. But it's too fun to just go crazy and not really care about the types of attacks I use. I'm doing this on kind of a medium difficulty, so I can get away with that stuff. I was working on one of the hardest difficulties. I think it was called Dante Must Die difficulty. And you're not going to want to do that unless you practice a lot first. I'm sure veterans of the series don't have that much trouble with it, but me... Hang on, where do I go? Slightly confused here. Where did I come from? Where do I go? I'm suddenly Cotton Eye Joe. Ah, here we go. What else? Is that it? Wait. Okay, so I don't know how I got here, but I did it. Why am I in this mission? I wanted to show you guys something. Don't remember what. Oh well, this is probably going to be a longer video anyway. Oh, another thing. I'm doing such a bad job of explaining things. But Nero has these mechanical arms called Devil Breakers, and they all have different effects. My favorite is the one I'm using right now, Gerbera, which basically acts as a shockwave emitter, I guess. And it's good for mobility, it's good for launching enemies away, it's good for, you see that? Launching enemies, and launching myself in any direction. Another thing about Nero's combat, sorry, I got distracted, is that, you see this? He has a demonic arm, and it's pretty powerful. It's used for grab attacks. But, hang on. When you're in Devil Trigger form, which is a whole other thing, hang on, let me see if I can do this right. Yes, okay, in Devil Trigger form you can hold 2, and you can continue to hold 2 when you cancel out of Devil Trigger. And they both get damaged when you release. These tentacle things are just like health refills, basically. The plot of this game. It's... Right, I mentioned it before. It's a lot, and I... Excuse me. It's a lot, and I don't quite understand it. But... it's basically a brotherhood mending type of story. Kind of putting a cap on Dante and Virgil's long-time rivalry. And honestly, it's really nice. Also, Nero fits into this as a... well, if you want to play it, that's kind of a spoiler. But it's worth it. Good game. You'll get enough of the story without context from previous games, except maybe Devil May Cry 4. Do we go up? Yep, okay. I haven't even mentioned Nero's gun yet. His gun is named the Blue Rose, I think. Yeah, his sword is the Red Queen. His gun is the Blue Rose. And it's probably the simplest gun in the series, because basically what you should do, I guess, is charge it with your demonic energy and let loose when the charge is full, or as full as it can be. You know, high-level players will mix all the things that I talked about and stuff that I didn't even talk about, and they'll do it all seamlessly. Like channels like Devil Never Cry, who else? Devil Never Cry and Chaser Tech. He's pretty good too. Not active that much from what I remember, but he's good. Yeah, basically, there are channels dedicated to making insane combos. The combat in this game is really fast-paced, and so it's like... it's a lot to get into, and a lot to execute. And I'm just... I'm not a fast enough player to do that. I can do some of the more advanced things, but not enough to be like an advanced player. I would like to, but I think I'll save my advanced player quota for Monster Hunter. Especially since Monster Hunter Wilds is coming out. Speaking of which... Come on, man. Speaking of which, Monster Hunter Wilds is coming sometime next year, so stick around for that. I'm a huge fan of the series. Much bigger than Devil May Cry, actually. I'm just doing this right now because of Itsuno leaving. Director Itsuno. It really is a shame, because I was looking forward to the next game. Are we almost done? I feel like I picked the wrong mission here. That would be funny. Oh well. Oh wait, no. I didn't pick the wrong mission. I'm going to switch to using Dante soon so I can have more time to think about this and talk about this. I'm not going to use V because I don't like him. And I'm not going to use... Okay, so that's V next to Nero. And I'm not going to use... Well, I guess that's it. I like pretty much every other character. Oh yeah. One thing I don't like. The PC version gets neglected. And it's frustrating because the console version got this, I guess, special edition. PC just got the release of Virgil a year later in Bloody Palace, and that's about it. I don't understand why. Same thing happened for the reboot game, Devil May Cry, well, DMC Devil May Cry. Kind of a redundant name. I don't know why they went with that. Anyway, cool set piece. Love this part. Love this game. So right now I'm fighting with V. You can see his familiars going around as I fight. And it's a pretty cool set piece. Because as you saw... Hang on. We're in this this destroyed city with a kind of moving... I don't even know what to call it. It's just cool and I love it. Ow. Oh man, I used the wrong attack. That's another thing. It's a lot of attacks to memorize and to understand the flow of, and mid-attack inputs to strengthen your next attack. I like that level of depth, but it is a lot. Like, there are... Hang on. Ooh! That one specific attack I just did, that... I'll explain it later, probably in the training room. Because right now I'm kind of fighting and trying to talk. Still scatterbrained. Aw, man. I'm gonna try something. There we go. Yes. So this arm is called Tomboy. And it's basically a way to supercharge your attacks. Like a rock star, kind of. You can see through his animations. Man, what a set piece. Let's see. What am I missing? Oh, this. So that was like this really cool thing you can do with oh no. Oh no, did I destroy my arm? Well, I can't show you again then. But it's this really cool thing where You combine your sword and gun into a big laser. Only Devil May Cry. These guys are really tough. They can kind of... Once you get them down to 50%... No, 25% health, they get this kind of extra tough armored mode where... Hey, there he is. Where they end up extending their health bar for like another 75%, something like that. Anyway, come on. Yes. Ah, would have been cool. So there's a lot of execution to this. It's not easy. Honestly, if I could move like these guys, I probably could make a huge living off of acrobatics. And maybe sparring people and training them. That would be so cool. I don't know why I'm letting the cutscene play out, but I'm in this deep, so... Skip! Subversion! Oh, I got an A, despite doing not so well. Nice snapshot. Okay, so we're going to play as Dante next. Sure, you get an upvote. That's the player that dropped in earlier. You didn't see him because in his version of the level he's in a different hallway, kind of next to yours. Anyway. A Dante mission. I really like Dante, but he's very complex. And I'm not going to use all his weapons in this mission. Probably not going to do the whole mission either. I'm still... hang on. I'm still on this game even after 5 years because there's still more to learn. And, like I said, it's a lot. You know, I might as well equip other stuff from what I normally use. Actually, no. No, because I'll be even less effective at teaching. And we don't want that. Man, I wonder how many thought threads I've dropped. So Dante, he's the kind of guy who's just casually on top of everything. Unless you're a bad player, or a player like me. These guys are cool. Hard to get though, because they have this kind of, as you can see, that purple thing around them, it's like a shield. Also, they do this shockwave thing. Not a fan of that, because I don't know how to avoid it. Dante here has 4 different weapons instead of 1 sword. He has this motorcycle. That's from one of my favorite bosses. He has... well... I don't have that weapon, but he has gauntlets and boots that basically act as a hand-to-hand weapon. Oh. Oh, so that was just introducing the enemy. You don't have to do that on like a 3rd playthrough. Anyway. So, I don't remember the names of the weapons, honestly. Except Devil Sword Dante, because it's really, really, really cool. You can charge it with demonic energy and have summoned swords with you. Very cool stuff. And Man, there are so many modifiers to the combat. It's it's unreal. So in the top left, you see these four letters: T, G, S, and R. The T is for Trickster, S is for Swordmaster, R is for Royal Guard, and G is for Gunslinger. Those are different combat styles that Dante can use, and they all modify how he does things. Mostly with the style button, which is B, or I think circle on PlayStation. And the modifier... Hang on. I'm going Devil Trigger. I need to heal. I'm going Ghost. You know what? Danny Phantom was such a good show. I wish it wasn't done by Butch Hartman, though. I call him something less savory. You know, Bleep Hartman. Anyway, man, I miss Danny Phantom. If only it was done by a more serious creator, you know? Because you could have left it as... You could have left Fairly Odd Parents as the kiddish, cartoony show. Danny Phantom had so much potential. Ooh. Yeah, Danny Phantom. He was just 14 when his parents built a very strange machine designed to view a world unseen. I still remember the theme song. It was so good. So much potential. I remember the last thing I saw from that show was, I think, when he got his ice powers. Man, what happened to Nickelodeon? What happened to animation in general? Also, motorcycle, cool stuff. Yeah, I'm not a fan of current Nickelodeon. And part of it is me being older, but part of it is also the company is just not caring. And I don't get it. Because they know how big... Oh, man, that reminds me. SpongeBob. Everyone loved SpongeBob when I was little. Like, when I was 8 years old, everyone loved SpongeBob. But now SpongeBob is a corpse. Not literally, but literally. SpongeBob is dead. Like, you can't tell me anyone who was around back then. Well, I was around back then. Nunchucks. And a staff. And whatever this is. Okay, so you can't tell me people who grew up back then are a fan of current SpongeBob. Not because they grew up, but because SpongeBob is just awful now. And it's not just awful for us, because I wouldn't want kids these days watching it. Because if you've seen what I'm talking about, it's not good. It's not quality. SpongeBob had subtle humor. It had different layers of humor. I'll be honest, I really liked the wordplay aspect. Like, one of those episodes, I think it was Shanghai, where... Right, so an anchor falls into Squidward's house, or maybe SpongeBob's, or both, or something. And Squidward says, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And SpongeBob says, wouldn't that be the top? I love it. I love it. That's my kind of wordplay. It's cheesy. It's easy and simple. But it's so fun. It's so pun. I just can't get enough of it. That stuff is just gone. SpongeBob isn't SpongeBob anymore. Just like Sonic isn't Sonic anymore. Just like Resident Evil isn't Resident Evil anymore. Just like Zelda isn't Zelda anymore. Video coming at some point in the next 365 days. I have been thinking about this. Anyway, back to Danny Phantom. Actually, no. I think I've said what I needed to about that show. Um, what else? Oh, we can talk about the Fairly Odd Parents. At least the early seasons. Those were like SpongeBob. I mean, not exactly, but they had that kind of good thing going where it was humorous, but also pretty meaningful for the kids. I say that like I'm a kid. Certain things just stick with you, though. You know, it's kind of like, well, it's not like this, but I remember I was 4 years old watching Blue's Clues, eating those cinnamon toast waffle thingies from Eggo. I don't need the shop. And when I was a kid, Steve was my Blue's Clues host. And then, in 2021, Steve, I guess, the half character, half actor, because it felt like he was doing both at the same time. Kind of did this check-in video. Some people say it's cheap nostalgia bait, but I don't know. Certain things like that resonated with a lot of people because it was Steve, that is his real name, and he was checking in with us. Man, I need to switch it up. Love this weapon. Yeah, it felt nice. If you're a Joe kid or whoever the third guy was, then you might not feel this. But we were all really upset when Steve, quote unquote, went to college. So to see him get back into character and kind of, I guess, halfway check in with us, that was nice. That was so cool. I wonder if Bill Nye is still around. I don't hear much about him. Or LeVar Burton. Icons from my childhood. Wow, I'm old. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Normally I don't ramble like this, off topic. This was a Devil May Cry video. But I guess it's also a video about just how things change. How life is different. And it really is different. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna do something cool. I think. I'm gonna try. Ah! It was messed up at the last second. Okay, no. Oh yeah, about this hat. Very cool weapon. So normally Dante has he has devil arms, which are basically his different types of weapons. Some are ranged, some are melee. My favorite ranged weapon is not a gun, but a hat. A demonic hat. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, now I'm ready. You see that? So this weapon costs red orbs to use. Red orbs are basically your currency. And you can basically send a red orb meteor after enemies. And it's so cool. Man, there's so much to get into with these weapons. And it's a bit confusing for sure. Transformations. Like, really, what even is this? Look at this. Time slows. You cover the screen in a flurry of attacks. And end with a huge explosion. It's a screen wipe, and it takes a lot out of Dante. I love it. I love it so much. I love this game. So many people should get into it. Now to just take care of these. Oh, maybe that. Maybe not. I should have brought the gauntlets with me. I love gauntlet weapons. You know what? In the Souls games, I hated that the gauntlet weapons, I guess they're called Cestus? Cestus? Kestis. Hephaestus. Anyway, those weapons, they were all... I don't know, they were awful until Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 made them a lot more dynamic, gave them actual combos. Elden Ring did the same thing, but it doesn't feel the same because in Elden Ring, it's like, yeah, you have your combos, but everything is overtuned in that game. Your damage, enemy damage, it doesn't feel balanced. Oh, no, no, no. I picked the wrong thing. I'm not playing as V. So, yeah, I have quite a few gripes with the Souls series. Even though I really like the games, the combat is unrefined. Dark Souls 1, oh man, I have so many thought processes that I probably dropped. I am not an Intel CPU. Oh, okay, yes. Let's play as Virgil. Because, my gosh, cool character. One of the absolute coolest. I'm gonna go on a hard mission. I barely remember any of these missions. I mean, I say I've practiced, and I really have, but not often, like, not consistently. Man, what was it? Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna pick... whatever. 13's a lucky number. Hehehe. So, Virgil. Cool, calm, and collected. He's the epitome of focus. Man, I feel like showing some cutscenes, because there are at least 2 that I really love in this game. But no, not gonna do that. At least not now. I wonder how long this video is. Oh wait, did I pick this mission already? If you like katanas, you'll like Virgil. Because, well, you should know by now, he's everywhere in meme culture. Virgil is like... hang on. He's everywhere as like the ideal katana guy. I wonder if my controller's messing up. I'm pretty sure I picked this mission already. Hang on. Hang on. I guess 13 is a lucky number. Yeah. Actually, no. We might as well do Bloody Palace. Not touching V. Okay. So, this is why I practice. I mean, it's also just really fun. But this is why I'm trying, even after all these years, because there's a mode, this is the mode, where, ooh, felt nice. Okay, this mode where you do 100 floors of different enemies, different waves of enemies, and I love the idea. I really do. And it gets harder and harder as you go on, and bosses get added to the mix. But it's too hard for me. So I'm practicing so that it's not too hard for me. Because I love the idea. I love the mode. I love the combat. I love everything about it. I just have to get good enough to do it. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I was so glad when Spark the Electric Jester 3 got its own kind of Bloody Palace mode because it was doing its own kind of Devil May Light Lies of P. I'm gonna have to talk about that game soon too. Um, so Spark the Electric Jester 3 was also doing its own kind of light Devil May Cry combat. Honestly, very good for a first try. It I'll I'll talk about that later too. But yeah, I was really happy with that. And hang on. There we go. So Virgil has his own set of weapons. Yeah, I'll talk about Spark later. Nice. Very nice. Haha. Now, okay, just to clarify, I'm not doing all 100 floors here. I can kind of get to 80 floors if I focus and if I'm lucky, but I'm commentating right now. I cannot do that. Plus, it takes 2 hours every time. That's another thing. I love the mode, but 2 hours? I mean, good players do it in like 40 minutes, I guess, but I can't do that. Oh yeah, the person who did Nero's battle music also composed Virgil's music, and I'm a huge fan of both of those soundtracks. You're gonna have to listen to those on your own time. I'm not gonna play them here. Might get into copyright trouble. Hang on, hang on. Oh yeah, look at this. That's V. I guess I spoiled the whole game. Oops. Oh no. I'm such a rascal. A rolling rascal, you could say. I'm having fun here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can't control it. Can I? Okay, okay. That was weird. That was really weird. I completely lost control. As you saw me just standing there. And going into Devil Trigger without doing anything with it. That's a waste. A terrible waste. You never want to go into Devil Trigger without a purpose. Because it takes up, as you saw, the Devil Trigger gauge. Well, it kind of works differently for Virgil in this game. Like, I'll get into it later. I could have talked about it with Dante and it would have made more sense for Virgil later. But basically, you want to manage your gauges and... Whoa. Man, his summoned swords are so cool because of how many ways you can use them. It's like he's just on top of it. He's just that guy. He is that guy. There's just no other way to put it. It also feels better to play as him because his more focused style is more fitting of a person like me. Like my actual personality. Calmer, more focused. Yes. Okay, the time bonus thing. That's, ha! Oh man, I thought I would deflect it. You can deflect those. If you're good. Ha! Who's next? So good. So good. So good. Oh man, I love this game. I keep saying that. There are few games I love as much as this. Oh man, I was supposed to deflect those. Look at me trying to be fancy. Ah, I love these. The summoned swords take up Devil Trigger too, so you can't just spam them. Oh yeah, you have a clone you can summon, which also takes up Devil Trigger. There's so much to this combat. Hey buddy. Bye buddy. That's V and his familiars. All three of them. Just spamming on him. And he's still not dead because he's one of the toughest enemies. Oh, over half his health is gone though. That's actually really good. Come on, man. Oh yeah, the teleport. I didn't even use it with Dante. Love it. So this is, oh, right. I didn't keep him on screen for that. Okay, take a look at this. Well, I'll have to use another enemy because he was in his powered up form. But it's going to be cool. Trust me on this. I think I'll play up to the first boss. Ah, man, how do I... So, I still haven't figured out all the combat, as you know. And it has been 5 years. Don't worry about it. We're just here to have some fun and hang out and talk about stuff. And you know what? I might as well save this, because you can save your progress in Bloody Palace if you haven't died. Love it. Ooh, I'm gonna try something. Hang on, how do I do this? No. It was gonna be cool. Never mind. It'll still be cool if I get another chance. And I will get another chance. Love it. Okay, so you see what I mean about his personality being shown through his combat animations, right? I mean, you don't know who he is unless you're already a fan, but he's just on top of it. I love how mechanics overlap. Like, as you saw, you can slow down, not time, but enemies with the summoned swords, and with a certain sword attack. And you can use that time to charge up your attacks, with this weapon at least. You see that? Okay. Again, uppercut. Love it. Okay. Oh wow, we're almost at the first boss. Well, I'm gonna have to be careful then. And I'm gonna oh no! These things. So... they teleport. So do I though. Feels really cool. Oh man, missed it. Missed it again. Okay. I don't need the clone. Ugh. I'm not doing a good job here. If I was Nero, I could deflect every attack. because he has Gerbera. With everyone else, I have to be way more precise and take more time. It's fine though. Ooh, ooh. Okay, I'm gonna use what I've been saving when I get to the boss. That's gonna be fun. Man, I love that attack. Oh, it's already time. Here I go then. This is, I think, Nero's first boss, because the first boss in the game is probably something else. Oh yeah, it is. I haven't played through the story in a while. So, that blue gauge in the top left is the concentration gauge, and it builds up as you stay locked onto enemies and don't run away from them. Hang on, can I do this? Yes! You see that? That's amazing! Absolutely amazing. It uses up the Sin Devil trigger, and it uses up the concentration gauge. And, man, I think Virgil might have the coolest moves in the game, honestly. And you're completely invincible during this one. So cool. Everything about it is so cool. Where has this game been all my life? Well, I mean, I know the answer to that. Nope, nope. I'm over here. Oh, man. Also, if you have a high enough concentration gauge... Oh! If you... Ooh, did I just... I did! Ha! This feels so good. So if you have a high enough concentration gauge, you can charge your attacks an extra level, and I wasted it. No, you don't. Oh, I'm gonna do a great finish. Just you wait. Need to get the concentration gauge high enough. Oh, that didn't finish him off? There we go. There we go! Oh man. Too cool. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for my Devil May Cry video. At least for now. That was so much fun. Please try this game. And thanks for listening to my rambling too. Thanks for watching, and take care of yourselves.